She doesn't own witches.
She doesn't, but she redefined the genre and made it actually massively popular. Before then, biggest witch in entertainment, the Wicked Witch of the West. That was it. So if you had gone from Wizard of Oz to Harry Potter,
but we've had plenty of witches since then. We've had Margaret Thatcher. So, I mean, ultimately, I don't think she did invent the witch.
Welcome to the Showbiz Showdown with me, JJ Anisiøbi. Now, yes, it is a new studio, new look, new vibe, but the same fiery debates. And today's big question, should JK Rowling be banned from all future Harry Potter related projects? Joining me across the table, comedian and podcaster James Barr. Thank you for coming, James. JK Rowling, a genius, a national treasure of the country. My words. And the words of many other people.
Is she a national treasure?
A national treasure, a literary genius.
I would refute that. I don't know if that's entirely true anymore.
Possibly more successful than William Shakespeare. Why?
That is the biggest load of BS I've ever heard.
I swear to God, I completely believe that.
No, you do not.
Why should
you do not believe that she is bigger than William Shakespeare?
Bigger than William Shakespeare, yeah.
No.
If you ask the average American, so what are you guys into literary-wise in the UK? They'll be like, I don't know, maybe you're a JK Rowling, she's pretty good. What about Shakespeare? Never heard of him, bro.
That's not true.
That's probably what they're going to say.
I don't think
Americans
that's true. They've probably never heard of America either, so.
So look, JK Rowling, there's a new TV series in the making for Harry Potter. That's going to be on HBO. It's going to be a massive success. Of course it is. HBO made Game of Thrones, Sex and the City, Succession. They just make hugely great TV. But people are saying JK Rowling should not be involved in it at all. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of agree, to be honest. I don't think she should be anywhere near it. I mean, like, she created it, so cool.
She's a genius.
I mean, it's good that she created something that has affected so many people. I can't sit opposite you if you're just going to call her a genius. You're deliberately trying to goad me into a ridiculous debate about. Listen, you can separate an artist from their art. It's completely fine to do that if you want to. So I don't think JK Rowling needs to be anywhere near the creative process, just like she wasn't with the Hogwarts legacy. Ultimately, this is not JK Rowling's legacy. This is about Hogwarts legacy.
But it is JK Rowling's legacy.
But it's not.
She created it. The world exists. Even if you take out all the characters she had and you bring in new characters from some completely different writer, it's still set in her world. So
it's not her world, though, is it? It's not set in her world. It's set in a world where a group of school children are oppressed by society. Now, in her actual world, you could argue that she's the one oppressing people. So actually, the world of Harry Potter is a very different world to the one that currently JK Rowling seems to be aligning herself with.
So how do you cancel JK Rowling? How do you go about that? Because whether she walks into that studio and says, I want this, I want that, I want this taken out, or whether she sits at home in a £1 million mansion and does nothing, she's still going to get sweet cashola.
It's a great point, actually. And why don't we just make something else? I mean, why do we have to make another Harry Potter show? HBO could make any show right now. They have a lot of money and there's a lot of incredible different books out there. Mm-hmm. My friend Gino Dawson's written a series about witches and wizards. You know, that could very easily be an HBO show.
But this is just like a pound shop Harry Potter. Why are we having another?
Well, you haven't read it, so you can't say that it's a pound shop Harry Potter.
I haven't read it.
And you can't argue that any book that's written about wizards and witches is now a pound shop Harry Potter. That's a crazy thing to say.
No, I don't think it is a crazy thing to say.
Yes, it is. She doesn't own witches.
She doesn't, but she redefined the genre and made it actually massively popular. Cancel culture, I think, essentially is a cancer on society.
Oh my God, it's not. It's not cancel culture, and you are more intelligent than that, JJ.
So then what is it?
It's accountability culture. It's being rebranded as cancel culture, but no one's actually out here getting cancelled. Dave Chappelle's got Netflix specials for days. Yeah. Ricky Gervais is still spouting nonsense. Everyone gets a Netflix special. It doesn't matter how bad they've been. And JK Rowling's universe continues to exist because there's a lot of people in it who are making money from it and have made a living from it, a lot of actors, and they don't deserve to be shamed by her wand and the things that she said. So actually, it's not about cancel culture, it's accountability. And she came up with this idea in 1990. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're in 2023 now. She doesn't need to be anywhere near it. It's a completely different universe. We're currently in a different world to the one she was in when she came up with the idea and wrote the books. And actually now we need our literature and our books and the TV that influences children to represent the world they live in, which is a more diverse society.
But I think it'd be difficult to not say.
Thank you, that really was a good point.
That really was a good point. Thank you so much, James. But I think it would be difficult to not say that some groups are attacking not only JK Rowling, but people who support JK Rowling.
I don't want to talk about who you think is attacking JK Rowling while she is attacking a very small minority, which makes up less than 1% of the UK population. In fact, only 0.10%. So there's no point in having that conversation.
Well, the conversation is, with Hogwarts Legacy that you mentioned earlier, streamers were getting attacked by people because they were saying, I'm going to play the game, I'm going to buy the game. It went on to become the biggest selling game in years. It's made nearly $1 billion in sales, which to me would suggest that actually the wider public don't have an issue with JK Rowling.
I don't know if you can cite the wider public not having an issue with JK Rowling. If you look at what the wider public's opinion of trans and non-binary people is, it's actually very accepting. Yeah. So I think that's where we should be focusing our thoughts if we're talking about cancelling JK Rowling, not based upon the fact that her video game did pretty well. And also, I'd like
well, not pretty well.
Also, it's
massive.
Not her video game; it's a video game based on her world. And sure, she'll make some cashola from it.
Yeah,
but she's nowhere near the structure of the game, the design of the game, the characters in the game. Some of which are trans. In fact, there's a trans landlord.
There's one trans landlord. Yeah.
You know, actually, it's great that game has done relatively well. I can't bring myself to say that.
It's done exceptionally
well.
But
yeah, fine, cool, and good for the people that made it. But JK Rowling, please let's just leave it.
But I hear you saying you can separate the artist from the artistry. I don't think you can.
I don't know if I'm saying I can do that. I'm just saying people can,
okay.
and it's their choice. If those people want to buy that game, that's completely up to them.
I don't think you can separate the artistry, because I think, as you say, it's a completely different universe now. Well, it's still Hogwarts. It's still something that she created. She is all over that. There isn't, whether she's creating these new characters or not, it's still within the landscape that she painted. So until she's essentially dead, she will always be involved in any.
But that's not what you asked at the beginning of this. You asked whether she should be actively involved.
Cancelled and banned.
Yeah, but the question is, should she be actively involved? And I'm saying no, she shouldn't.
No, she shouldn't be.
But also, you just said that you can't separate the artist from the art. You can't do that.
I can't do that.
So, Are you not concerned about any of the people in history that have done really bad things and have still made art? You're happy to just own it. You're happy to vibe to Michael Jackson and be like, you know what, I don't care what he potentially did or didn't do. Like, this is a bop, and I'm not going to separate the two.
That is a good question.
I mean, that's crazy to me. You should be able to go, actually, I'm not sure I agree with that person's ideas, but Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is still a good song.
So the thing with Michael Jackson is, what I would say is that when he was alive, he was investigated by the FBI on 2 different occasions, and no one found anything guilty. No, he was never charged anything. Exactly. So for me, with Michael Jackson specifically, I don't need to separate it because he didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
However, there's other people, say a Gary Glitter, who has been found guilty.
A better example. But also, I just want to say, I'm not comparing Gary Glitter or Michael Jackson to
JK
at all.
Of course, no.
But I think it's strange that you can't separate the art from the artist.
What is strange about that?
Well, you should be able to. Otherwise, you're living in a world where you knowingly like a song and are fine with what the person who made it did.
No, see, and this is the thing.
So you do believe in cancel culture? You're happy to cancel Gary Glitter?
No, it's accountability, as you said. So with Gary Glitter, the drums on one of his songs, I can't remember what the song's called now, the same drums that Rishi Sunak used during one of his campaign videos.
Right.
Yeah. I would say, whether I like the song or not, because it's Gary Glitter, I make the choice myself to not listen to that music, and whether I think it could be the greatest bop ever made, but it's Gary Glitter made it, so no, I'm not playing it, I'm not going to buy it, I'm not going to stream it, I don't want to give him any more cash.
Well, I'm pretty pleased about that.
Yes, thank you. I do deserve a medal for that, you're right. However, I'm not then going to tell anyone else, you shouldn't be listening to this because of my opinion on it. Whereas because
of your opinion on Gary Glitter? You would let other people listen to it if they wanted to?
Yeah, I would do. I wouldn't stop someone from, but I would. I wouldn't stop someone from listening to Gary Glitter.
Okay.
I can say.
I just feel so uncomfortable even discing that person's name. I don't even want to mention that person's name.
Let's move on from Gaz. We'll leave him. She wrote some books, JK Rowling, under a pseudonym, Gal Brath, whatever his name was. And again, she was when the book came out, Troubled Blood. She was criticised for that, and people saying she should be cancelled for that again. Now, as I said before about Hogwarts Legacy doing tremendously well in sales, that book went on to do really well. In terms of book, as far as thrillers go, that went on to do well too. So I almost feel as if now, cancel culture, accountability, whatever you want to call it, not only does it not really exist, but it's completely subjective to individuals. So you can say that loads of people who are against JK Rowling and collectively shouldn't be involved in the future of anything to do with Harry Potter, he shouldn't profit from it, etc., etc. But then numbers would suggest that actually, I would feel that actually, generally, people aren't that bothered. People can have opinions about JK Rowling's views, but is it affecting them enough that they're going to stand up and say, no, we're not, no, everyone, no, we're going to stop watching HBO?
Well, that's up to them to decide, but really it's the network's responsibility to do the right thing, and it's the people that are working on that project to decide what they want to do, because they're influencing society with their art. So it's nothing to do with the individual, and your point is kind of irrelevant, I think.
Wow.
Well, no, I mean, it is. You're saying like, oh, she was cancelled, but her book did well. She's not been cancelled. She's being held accountable. People are saying what they feel about her work. They're saying what they feel about her, and that's completely fine, but she's still continuing to do well. However, what annoys me is that she's painting herself as the victim in that. But actually, I think she would agree that some people will disagree with her. She knew that when she came out saying what she did.
Yeah.
But she has effectively used her words against a small minority of people, and they're upset about it.
The whole reason that Warner Brothers are HBO are making the TV series is because JK Rowling has said, yes, you can use my intellectual property to make a TV series. That's it. Then Warner Brothers are not going and saying, we're going to make a completely different Wizarding World, like you said with your friend who's written a book that could be used to make it. They specifically want to do Harry Potter, so it's still JK who's given the green light. So whether she's going to sit there and say, yes, do this, no, do that, or not, she is still she is the top dog who said, you can use my work.
But she doesn't have any creative control over it.
Listen, I think we've come to a natural conclusion here.
What's the conclusion?
The conclusion is that cancel culture, accountability, kind of doesn't exist, and everyone is just going to have to make up their own minds about what they do.
And that JK Rowling shouldn't go anywhere near it, because we need a whole new version of the show, maybe.
And maybe Warner Brothers or HBO
and HBO should make something else,
something different.
Yeah,
and not
and
sticking
support
to
someone
the Potter
else.
Legend.
Definitely.
Well, that's something.
And also, we should buy tickets to my stand-up show by getting yourself to jamesbarrcomedy.com.
That is fantastic.
Thank you. It was really smooth, wasn't it?
I like that. No, I do like that. I do like that. James Barr, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments below. That's all. See you again next time.